Welcome to Tim's Strategy of the Week series. Today we're going to talk about a great strategy for swing trading. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. Hold it. Let me interrupt my own video for a minute. I need to get some feedback from you guys. As you know, I've dropped a one trade picks video each week on Monday. What I'd like to know is, how many of you guys are taking these trade picks? Are you profiting from them? Do you want me to load an extra trade pick or two in Monday's videos? I've typically got quite a few to choose from after studying the charts all weekend, so let me know what you guys are thinking. Now, back to our regularly scheduled strategy video. And thanks for coming back for this installment of the Strategy of the Week. Today, we'll look at the Bollinger Bands indicator and a great swing trading strategy. The Bollinger Bands is a technical indicator developed by John Bollinger. Bollinger Bands are designed to spot overbought and oversold conditions in the market. They also do a great job of gauging market volatility. And if you've been on this channel for a minute, you know I'm all about the volatility, right? The Bollinger Bands makes a very nice swing trading indicator for 4 hours, daily, or even weekly charts. It consists of 3 moving averages. The central moving average, which is typically just a 20-period simple moving average, and then on each side of the simple moving average are 2 other moving averages at a distance of 2 standard deviations away from the central moving average. Because the outer bands are calculated using a standard deviation of the candle length, when the market shrinks and volatility drops, the outer bands squeeze together, and as the market expands, the outer bands expand. Most trading platforms come with this indicator in their default list of indicators. If you're interested in learning more about how one can profit from this amazing indicator, I'll include a link in the description to another Bollinger Band strategy in the TSG library. For this strategy, I'll use the default settings for the Bollinger Bands. So let's take a look at the strategy rules. We're going to start by looking at an example of a sell setup. The strategy really consists of 2 elements. The first element works as an entry filter, and for the entry filter, that's what we're going to use the Bollinger Bands for. The second element is price action based. The higher the time frame you use this strategy, the more accurate it will be, but you will have to use a much larger stop loss on the higher time frames. You'll also get fewer trades on the higher time frames. I suggest using a 4-hour chart for this setup, but it will work well on the daily and weekly time frames. So here are the steps. Step 1. Wait for the price to touch the upper Bollinger Band. The first thing we want to see is the price moving into overbought territory. Step 2. Wait for the price to break below the middle Bollinger Band. After we have touched the upper Bollinger Band, we want to see a confirmation that we are in overbought territory and the market is about to reverse. For that confirmation, we want to see price drop and close below the center band. This break below the middle Bollinger Band is a clear signal of a shift in market sentiment. It's typically not a good idea to trade a breakout without determining whether there are real buyers or sellers, in this case sellers, in the market behind the breakout. And this brings us to the next step. If the candle is big and bold and closes near the low of the range, sell at the close. So in other words, the Bollinger Bands indicator has correctly predicted the sell-off, but we're going to use a very simple price action signal for our entry trigger. For entry, we want to see a big, bold, bearish candle that closes below the middle Bollinger Band and closes near the low range of the candlestick. This is an indication of strong sellers who really want to drive this market much lower. Step number 4. We're going to place the stop loss above the breakout candle. The breakout candle has a lot of significance because we've used it in our candlestick-based entry method. We assume that this candle shows the presence of real sellers in the market. If the high of this candle were to be broken, it's clear enough that this is simply a false breakout, as there are no real sellers. That's simple, right? I like simple. Simple is good. And lastly, we have to decide where to take profit. We're going to take profit when the candle closes back above the middle Bollinger Band. Now in this case, of course, we're looking at a sell trade example. So if the price breaks above the middle Bollinger Band, it's time to think about taking our money and going home, since this is actually a really good signal of a reversal. Okay, that's how the sell signal works. Of course, we can flip these rules right around for a buy trade. And that's the Bollinger Band swing trading strategy for this week. Just remember that no strategy will win 100% of the time, so if you get a loser, don't assume that you did something wrong. Now, I'd like to take a quick look at the significant trade picks for this week, but first, the U.S. election is still undecided. I think I suggested that that might be the case, right? You know, and it may remain that way for some time. Who really knows? Anyway, be careful with your trades until after the dust settles. I mentioned holding the trailing stop on Bitcoin at 12,785 until this consolidation right here broke, and it has broken in a big way this week. So I am back to trailing stops. We're currently at 13,111.85 to lock in 2271.12. This is Thursday afternoon. Here's our crude oil trade. It pushed on down here, hit our first target right here on Monday, and then promptly popped right back up and stopped us out break even on the second half. So we're done with crude for now with a small profit. The US dollar Japanese yen is pushing down again as of Thursday right here. So we may get a trigger on this week. Last Friday I mentioned that I moved the range down to 104 from 104.50. Remember, this is a weekly signal, so we'll sell a close of the weekly candle below 104, but be sure to use the daily ATR for your targeting. And lastly, Mankind Corp, or MNKD, did some wacky things, made this huge pin bar right here, then gapped down to here on Thursday and pushed all the way up. So we may actually have a signal on this today. I don't know. This could be U.S. election hijinks. Who really knows? Okay guys, that's it for today's video. Be sure to come back next Wednesday at 3 p.m. as we continue to discuss technical analysis in our trading education series. And don't miss my trading picks of the week on Mondays and my strategy of the week on Friday right here at Trading Strategy Guides YouTube channel at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Remember to let me know who follows the trade picks, and if you want me to do extra trade picks in my Monday trade picks video each week, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified when these videos come out. And maybe, just maybe, we'll decide on who's going to be the president next week in the U.S. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you with a trade pick on Monday.